Hi, welcome to 2020 Tasty Treats with GourmetQuilter. We're having such a delicious time this year making all sorts of fun things, and at the moment we're working from the Leftovers Pantry. So I'm Susan Clare, GourmetQuilter, and we've been setting up our pantry of leftovers. So we're talking fabric leftovers. I've got a set of drawers here. It could be containers, it could be boxes, it could be bags, it could be any number of things. I've labelled things with different measurements on so that I can put strips and rectangles and squares and things like that in my drawers that match that measurement, so that I've got an easy place to find things. So quite often at the end of a project I've got some small amounts of fabric left. It might be full width pieces or it might only be smaller amounts, but if I store them in there I know where to go and find them, and then there's so many delicious things you can do with leftovers. So this is a 20-part series and we're well into it. This is actually part 19, and so there are some notes and more information on the website on gourmetquilter.com. So today I just thought I'd go through a little exercise using some of the units. So in the earlier part of the series we made some units out of the strips and things that we cut from the leftovers. So we had made some unit 5 pieces, which are flying geese. You might see them that way, it doesn't really matter which way they go. And we'd also made a unit 1, which is a 4-patch. We've made other units as well, but today we're going to look at these two, particularly the flying geese unit, and just some squares also from the pantry. So the idea being that you're using up leftover fabrics, so that you may not have lots of one particular fabric, but you might have, say, a red fabric. And in the case I've got up here, I'm using red, but I've got several different reds in there. It's not just one. These are all from my leftovers. The same with my backgrounds. They're all leftovers, so I had a lot of grey backgrounds, as you can see. But again, we've got quite a lot of different fabrics in there. So when we're talking colour rather than particular fabric for a lot of these. So sometimes called scrap quilts. So what I thought I'd show you today was this little exercise that I've set up here. So this block up here, I'll just bring it down. So I've used the flying geese unit here and here, and on each of the sides we've got a plain square in the corner and a plain square of a different colour in the centre, and it looks like quite a nice little block, and it's made up really well. And I just wanted to show you that what happens if you just change a little thing, so that all sorts of things can be done using all these leftovers. So if you simply change the corners on this inner flying goose unit here, and perhaps go with this same colouring that's there. It doesn't have to be, it could be a completely different colour, but that's the only change that I've made, and I've gone ahead and I've made a block here showing you that it can look quite different. That could be a different colour. It may not have been this yellow colour. You might have put in there a green or a blue or a purple, anything you like, and it would look very different. So the idea was just to show you that you can experiment and try different things out. You might have a lot of something that you want to use up, and how you can start using it throughout various projects and things. So, and then I thought, well, what would happen if I turned something around? So then I turned, having changed them already, I then turned these units around, and that meant that the two reds were going to be sitting together, and what that gave us was, in fact, something different again. And we've now got this yellow star that's formed simply by turning this unit around. It wasn't a star when it was here, but it's a star now. So it's quite exciting what you can do just by positioning colours differently. So it's basically the same things. We've just got the two flying geese units, we've changed the corners on some, and we've turned some around. What could be better than that? So I went ahead and I did the notes to that effect. So I've shown the 3 different blocks there, I've shown what they consist of and everything, shown it in the grey colours that I've been using quite often, because I didn't want to influence people with colour, but sometimes you need to see how colour behaves. So I think that that's quite self-explanatory in those notes there, but then I went one further and I thought, right, I'm going to change my colours now, and I'm going to add in another unit. So this plain corner up here was looking a little plain, so I thought we'd add in one of our unit 1, the 4-patch. So I've changed the colours and I've added that in, and now I have this delicious looking block. Now that's pretty impressive. So it's almost the same as this block. We've got the star. I've left everything else the same as this block here. So I've got my points. I've turned it so that it's the star. We've got these blues instead of the reds, green instead of the yellow, and I've just put the 4-patch unit in the corner. And I just think that it's so amazing with just a small change like that, but all from our leftovers. You can see that they're multi-fabric, it's just a colour thing. It's just such a fun exercise to do. So when I did the notes for that block there, I've done the same thing here, and I've shown the block in these colours. But then hopefully you can see all this. Then I combined the two blocks. So if I combine this block with the first one that I had there and alternate the two throughout a quilt, we get this wonderful chain, and that's what these little 4 patches are going to do for us. They're going to create that chain that goes through. And then I thought, well, we better try it with the other blocks as well. So then when I alternated it with this block, it didn't make a huge amount of difference, but the yellow's there. If it was a different colour, it would probably look quite different again. When I alternated it with this block, it really emphasised the chain and the green and the blue stars much more so. And on top of all that, I thought, right, now I need to change the background colour, so I've swapped a different colour in the background. And I just think that even that makes it look different again. So I just wanted to show you examples of how the smallest change can make quite a change. You can build on things, you can change a little bit here and there where you go, you can change your backgrounds, you can change all your other colours. It's pretty much endless what we can do with leftovers. How amazing is that? So that was it for today, just an idea just to show you how you can use some of the units. There's basically on the traditional type of quilt block. There's a lot of them, if you have a look through some of the more traditional blocks that are actually based on units. There's a lot of 9 patches, 4 patches, flying geese, half square triangles in so many of the blocks that have been around for such a long time. And just by changing colours and positions and things like that, you can make something quite different, even though it's using the same components. So that was idea number 19. We've only got one more to go. It's been a pretty good series, this one. We've covered a lot of ground. There's a whole lot of playtime to be had in that Leftovers Pantry. I see that my little jar of preserves up here is growing, so these are my little trimmings. When I do all the little flying geese and things, I keep the corners, and I'm just finding that that jar needs a whole lot of renovation done on it. I need to go through that and process all those now. I save all those and then I can press them all, trim them and use them in another project. More leftovers. So that was it for this time. I will see you again for part 20, the final part, next time.